All right. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Wisco Wistys. We're two brothers from Wisconsin, and my name is Mason Wistenberg.
I'm Cole Wistenberg.
So we are the Wisco Wistys. Two brothers from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm in Green Bay. Cole's not. So we have to do Zoom for a little bit here. Hopefully, we won't have to do that forever. But in the meantime, that's what we're rocking with. This is our sports podcast. So welcome. Very excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. We obviously have a Green Bay Packer bias, you will find out, but we want to talk a lot about just the NFL in general. A lot, we'll be talking about a lot throughout the season, try to get, an episode a week, especially during football season. And then maybe some
Do a little,
basketball,
yep.
when that comes around, March Madness. The draft will be in April. So we got a lot to talk about. And then we'll see, in the beginning of summer when stuff slows down. So welcome. We're super pumped. So let's see here. Should we start with the main course, Cole?
Yes, let's start with the main course. So we're gonna start with headlines. The
What do we
most
got?
headlines regarding the NFL. We don't have to talk about Giannis almost leaving the Bucks. We'll leave that for another
We're
day.
not talking about that at all.
um, Headlines: Josh Jacobs signed with the Raiders, ends his holdout. So
I
he
didn't even know.
signed.
He's
Yep,
also number 8. I knew that. He changed to number 8.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he was
Leading
28.
rusher in the NFL last year. He
Yeah,
said he
he's
was
pretty
going to
good.
come back, and then he signed. I think it was like 11.9 million with like 200,000 incentive.
Nice.
It's a better deal than what he would have gotten on the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, fantasy football. He's a stud.
Yeah, so
You
that
take
helps
that.
fantasy football drafts because you actually know where he's going to be now. Um,
Yeah.
so that's big. Jonathan Taylor's still on the trade block, I guess you'd say, or like
Did he give him like 2 days though? Is that
yeah,
something
I
I
don't
saw?
see, I say I don't know because I don't really know what's going on with the situation. Jim Irsay said he's can't be traded, and then he said he can be traded, but then he gave him a deadline, and he's like hurt, but he's not hurt, and that's why he's not there, and it's
Yeah.
really weird. Or maybe he just doesn't want to play for the team because they stink. But whatever, I don't know. I have no
Shout out
idea.
Scott Sutton. Colts suck.
Scotty P, baby, and then the other thing, Trey Lance got traded.
Yeah, that was wild. I was
So
at a bachelor party last weekend and I did not have any internet or anything. So we went into town for at the
the
casino for a little bit.
darkness.
I'm like, what? He's on the Cowboys now? What the heck is going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's pretty wild.
he got demoted. Well, I guess I don't know what you call him because he hasn't played and since he's been there pretty much. He's been like throwing the
Yeah.
ball like 200 times, but they announced Sam Darnold as the backup, so he was third string. And then Kyle Shanahan's like, we want Trey here. We love Trey. Yada
Well,
yada
yeah,
yada.
they moved up. They like that's probably like the worst trade
It's the
in history.
biggest fail. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, and
because it was
nobody
number
talks
3,
about
wasn't
it.
he? The
Yeah,
third
it
pick in the
was
draft.
Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
And
Yep.
Trevor's like the only one that's working out right now. We'll see about Zach after Aaron's done.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So
that's bad.
yeah, and they could have drafted like a ton of other people before that in previous years, but they wanted him. They could have drafted Mac Jones. I don't think Mac's special, but could be better. I don't know. They love Purdy, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
why they
sold
say
on
it
him, but
makes up. I'm not either. You'll see in my predictions. Um, Makes up for the whiff. That's what they're saying.
yeah,
They, yeah.
whatever. I mean, you get him. It's like if you switched them, right? If you got
But the
Purdy at
dynamic is,
3,
yeah, is really
but still,
weird
I'm like,
because,
I don't know.
but Dallas is weird. It's a fourth, and they have Dak. He has like
Yeah,
one. He can sign an extension next year because he makes like 60 million
I'm
next
still
year.
not
So
sold on
like,
him.
yep. So it's a weird. And Jerry Jones like, I didn't even think about the dynamic. Yeah, okay, Jerry. Like it's a little
Yeah,
suspect,
but I mean, they
but
are similar quarterbacks.
yeah,
Like they're
ish
mobile.
mobile.
They're
Yeah,
both like big, like strong guys. So they can take some hits. not really sure. I mean,
I
his
think
arm
Dak's
strength.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously Dak is, but I mean,
No
yeah,
one
I'm
knows
not. I'm
about
not a
Trey,
fan of
so
Dak. I don't think he's
yeah.
that good.
He said he wanted to be somewhere where he can be the second string, and Cooper Rush went 4-0 or 4-1 for them last year. So I don't know how he's going to be second string in that offense, but
No. Yeah, we'll see.
whatever.
Weird.
We'll see. But that is
What
the headlines.
what'd they give up for him again?
A fourth.
Just a fourth?
They
Wow.
said plenty of teams were in on it too. Like I think I'm gonna be so wrong here. This is off the top of my head. Like the Eagles and the Bills potentially, or maybe I'm just thinking the Bills need one because their backups suck. But like, there's they said like 7 or 8 teams.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nuts.
it's
That's
potential.
like John Lynch has got to feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
He
and
like
they
how
were
many
in the
games did he
NFC
play?
Championship.
How many games did he actually play? Because he tore his ACL, right? But it was
No,
early
he
on.
broke his leg. He like broke his
Like
ankle
ankle. Okay.
and his tibia or fibia.
And but that was early on, right? Early on in the season.
So he didn't play the first year, and then Jimmy was. Then they said because they were like, no, we're going with Trey, and they lost to the Bears in the monsoon game.
Yeah.
And then he played the second game and was like his first series, he broke his leg or
Yeah. So
whatever.
you didn't really get
He's
much. So he
barely
must have
played.
rehabbed, gotten back to playing, and then like practicing. They were just not impressed.
But it's wild because they literally were like, we don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey's the number one guy. And then February comes around and they're like, Niners are looking to trade Trey Lance. How do you go from number one to we don't want you?
Right. And I thought that was crazy too, because like Jimmy Garoppolo, everyone just knew like, oh yeah, he wasn't going to be at the team after this year. He wasn't going to be at the team. And I'm like, what? How are you just
Hmm.
saying that? And it's like common knowledge now. And he's just like, yeah, he's okay with that. That's crazy to me.
And it's weird because then he didn't get traded and then he ended up playing for him and then he got hurt and then Trey got hurt and Purdy came in and Purdy got hurt and it's the Niners curse. I don't
Yeah.
know what
I
to
mean,
say. I hate that team, so that's fine.
me too. And Jimmy's probably happier in Vegas anyways, because he likes to date like strippers and stuff. So
Porn stars, baby. Yeah.
yeah,
He is
that's a lot
one of the
easier to
best looking
find there,
people in the
probably.
NFL though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
We can get into that. That might be a segment down the road.
Shout out Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get
Um
Alexa, our sister, in here.
yeah, she would like that. But that's it for the headlines.
Cool. All right. What do we have next here? The draft.
Oh, you we're just gonna go through the year predictions
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that.
because it's part of it.
Okay.
So um we're gonna literally walk through and who we think. We're not gonna do any kind of like
Structure to it.
yeah, well, we're just gonna start with a conference and we're not gonna do anything like this every team and wins and losses and whatever. We're gonna go through each division, kind of look at division winners, who we think could be wild card, any
Yeah.
teams that could compete, and then kind of go from there.
All right, let's do it.
So let's start with the AFC.
Okay.
Um, for my number one seed, or let's
Yeah.
go like this. Oh, well,
Sure.
let's go like this. AFC West. This would be the Chiefs, Broncos,
Yep.
Raiders, Chargers. I have the Chiefs winning the division.
Yeah, I'm visual, so I gotta find them here. Hold on.
Yes. Chiefs winning the division. Big shock. I think they've won it 5 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
They have
obvious.
the best quarterback in the league.
So they got okay. I would agree
Um,
with that.
yeah. I
I would agree with the
they
Chiefs winning. Do you know? Well, we're not gonna talk wins, I guess. Okay, never mind.
well we can do
What do you think about the Broncos with Sean Payton?
so I think I don't want to give away my wild card teams, but they are an option for a wild card team. I don't
Yeah, I'm
think
I'm
it's
interested to see if he can really turn them around
yep.
because they looked like shit
I mean
last year.
they added McGlinchey for offensive line for the Niners. Williams is coming, Javante's coming off a torn ACL.
Yeah, he's a beast too.
Um
I think we
Patrick tore his Achilles or ACL or something. Tim Patrick again, so he's out again.
okay.
their wide receiver, so they're kind of hurt. I know Judy hurt himself this like a week ago or something, so
Yeah.
it's kind of tough. But
I think we both probably have the Raiders being last place there. Yeah, they
yeah, the
suck.
Raiders stink. Jimmy G
Um,
stinks.
I think the Chargers have,
Chargers are a wild card option for
yeah,
sure.
and I don't want to spoil my MVP pick, but Justin Herbert is
An
first
option.
or second in my MVP pick.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so I agree. Chiefs, Chargers have a chance to make it in. Broncos, I don't know. That's a tough division. That's pretty good.
Do you want to say what seed you have them in, or do you want to wait till the
Um,
end?
I think, yeah, let's wait till the end.
Okay. AFC North.
This
This
is
is the
another tough division.
tough division. Bengals. I think there's no team that isn't in it in this division.
Right.
Bengals. Burrow obviously he's hurt, but gonna be
Yeah,
back.
I don't think that'll be a big deal though. I think he'll be
No, I
fine.
mean they started slow last year because he had his appendicitis, I think it was. So it
Oh
is what
yeah,
it
I don't
is. And
remember
then
that.
they signed Orlando Brown at left tackle from the Chiefs. Good left tackle. They lost their safeties. Hayden Hurst, I believe, but at tight end, but they added some people. Herb Smith Jr. is not great, but they still have Chase and Higgins and Burrow and Mixon, and
Yeah. I think Cincinnati has a chance to be the top seed.
they're my division winner for the North.
Yeah. They're my division winner as well. After that, it's tough. Like I saw the Steelers look really freaking good in preseason and they're well coached. Tomlin he still hasn't had below 500, right?
Stud,
I mean,
yeah.
that's pretty good. And Kenny
Defense,
Pickett,
yeah.
it's he's getting a little more comfortable. George Pickens, everyone saw that viral catch. That was unreal. What do you
Deontay
Oh my
Johnson.
God. Yeah,
They
they
got
got some
dudes.
studs. Najee Harris is pretty good.
The Muth.
Um,
The Muth at tight end,
yeah,
Fryermuth. They got guys.
yeah. So
And
they're fun.
the big Georgia guy, Darnell Washington, the six
Yeah.
seven
Oh my
guys on their
God. I
team.
forgot about
Yeah.
him. He's a
He's just a
tank too.
mm-hmm.
All
And then they
right.
have
Yeah,
TJ
he's
Watt, defensive player of the year.
yeah, they're gonna be tough. I think
Cam Hayward.
because they're in
They
such a
are
tough division, it might be,
the
their
AFC.
record
Yeah.
won't show how good of a team they are. They
Mm-hmm.
might miss the playoffs, but that's what sucks about the NFL is like someone I know it's across AFC and NFC, but it's like someone in the NFC South is gonna get in, and it's such bullshit because, you know, a lot of the
Yeah,
AFC North teams will
the
probably deserve
yes.
it better,
The 10th
but
seed in
whatever.
the conference of the AFC could be the 4th seed in the NFC.
Right. And that's
It's just
just the way it
nuts.
is. And that's also what makes it pretty cool.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, the Browns,
Browns are interesting because
they got a lot of
Watson,
talent, but yeah, Watson, we'll
you
see.
don't know how,
Second
because
year.
it's like his first full year into it. He's actually
Yeah.
playing football.
And we don't know if he's allowed to get massages anymore. So he might be a little tight. Who
Yep.
knows?
Who
Um,
knows?
the Ravens, I mean, now that Lamar is locked in and he got his money,
Hopefully he stays healthy.
yeah,
That's a big
and
issue.
I know OBJ is a little, you know,
Zay Flowers, though, fantasy if you want him, sleeper, Boston College, stud.
the receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's a
got
beast.
Twitch. Yes. Mark Andrews. I got some
Yeah.
guys.
Odell, I mean, who knows? He's older and coming off of an injury. So yeah, I mean
Hmm.
that's a tough division too. But I think we're on the same page there.
Bengals.
Bengals on the top.
Hmm.
Right. What's next here?
Next, let's go with the AFC East, the toughest division, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I'm interested with what you think about this one because you've been watching Hard Knocks, right? We love our boy A Rod. He there's so much hype with this team, and it's like I don't it's probably Super Bowl or bust for a lot of people over there, right? At least getting there. But I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs last year. So some people might be like, no, we just got to get to the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, we hold pretty high expectations for our teams. I mean, this year it's going to be a little different, but I think this is an interesting division because they on paper are like you got to get it done. You got to get pretty far. And Buffalo, I mean, we all know what Buffalo can do when they get hot. They seem to struggle in the playoffs. Um, they made it pretty far one year. I don't remember when it was, but other than that, they kind of haven't gotten a groove. They've been outplayed a lot recently. The Dolphins, I mean, they're surging right now too. And the Patriots are just, whatever. Bill Belichick, probably the GOAT coach. So you can never count them out. So yeah, this is a tough one. Who do you have as number one out of this one?
So it is tough. I think they're all playoff contenders.
Yeah.
I don't think New England's a division contender, but a wild card contender. I think the other three are division contenders.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bills to win the
Okay.
division. I
Yeah.
know Leslie Frazier left, which is tough, but Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the division without a doubt. He's a stud. There's an argument that he's the best in the league, but we can go there another day. He
He's a little too
is
gunslingy for me, but yeah.
Yeah, they put the most pressure on him. They're like Green Bay old with Aaron, where it's like, just win the game for us. That's
Yeah.
what that is. That's what that team is. We have one option. Watch out for Dalton Kincaid this year, their tight end. But you got to think about, so
Was that
two
the
years
Utah
ago,
guy?
yep,
Yeah,
he's
he's
like a
good.
wideout. 2 years ago, they lost the 13-second. He outplayed Mahomes in Kansas City in the divisional round, and their coach didn't figure out how to stop him in 13 seconds, and he didn't get the ball.
Yeah.
Last year, they came up short against Burrow, but Vaughn tore his ACL, Allen hurt his elbow, and just went downhill. They lost their head coach, or their offense coordinator, sorry. Dayball went to the Giants as a head coach, so they had a new offense coordinator. I don't know if anyone did miss Damar Hamlin and that whole incident on the field. Like, that's gonna mess a team up. It really
Right.
is.
Right.
They had to play 2 games on the road due to snow. They played in Detroit
Oh,
against
that's
the
right. I totally
Browns.
forgot about that.
People don't remember. So they were like on a like I personally think they were just kind of like gassed in the playoffs.
And
It's like
these
emotionally,
guys are so routine based. So you
yes.
start moving games all over the place, and then your head's it's a mental game, right? And
And
your
you
head's
saw the
over with Damar and how's he doing? So yeah, I
yes,
get
you
that makes
saw the
sense.
frustration of Diggs, just like when he was like, "Oh my God, like what are we doing?" Like, you could just see the boiling point. It just
Right.
blew for that team. So I don't blame
I
him.
I like the Bills. Like I root for them when, the Packers aren't in there, but I'd love to see them win it all. I'm
I
not a
agree. I
Mahomes
like the
I'm
fan
not a
base.
Mahomes fan. Um I love his brother though.
Yeah, everyone does.
I'm kidding. I don't. Um but yeah, I'm a huge Bills fan. I root for him when because I like Josh Allen. He's pretty nice. And I mean Stephon Diggs is like but they never did anything wrong
Oh,
to me.
Mafia.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they're pretty cool. And it's someone new. Like I'm so fucking sick of um Kansas City winning all the time.
Yes.
It's the
Starting
Brady.
to become the new
It's
dynasty.
so
Yeah.
oh my god. And a lot of I was like looking up stuff up and like a lot of people are saying, yep, they're the favorites. I mean, they should be favorites if they won last year, but it's like,
Mhm.
oh my god, if I have to fucking watch this again, I'm gonna just be sick.
It's impressive, but it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, if I was from Kansas City and I was a Kansas City fan, I'd be like, "Fuck yeah!" It'd be the
Yeah,
coolest thing in the
they
world.
haven't won. They didn't win for a long time, so
Yeah. So
it
I
is
mean,
cool, but
yeah, good for them. And it's a smaller city.
it's Midwest, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
Midwest. It's not New York, Miami, Chicago, LA.
Buffalo's the only true New York team. Just putting that out there.
Because the other two are in
Both are in
Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah,
So
whatever.
speaking of the Jersey team,
Yeah.
Jets, the
All
Jersey
right.
Jets.
You have them second then probably or third.
I'm not going to reveal, but they're in a wild card set. They
Why not? Why can't you tell me?
Because it might affect my wild card rankings. They I are stacked on defense. I think they're a little weaker at safety, but Quinn Williams is stud. Defense is set to me. Very
Yeah.
good.
Their D was really good last year. Yeah.
off, but D is tough. Like people watch your scheme and they figure that out, and good
Right.
quarterbacks or break it. Offensively, I think their weapons are a little overrated. They have Brees and Dalvin. Garrett Wilson
He's good.
is a stud. And
Yeah.
I that's a prelude to what I'm going to say down the road for fantasy. Stud. Like I watched the preseason game and it was like that was a Devonte Adams, Aaron Rodgers throw. Like it was just there. Like
And he said that,
that's
right? He's like,
starting.
reminds me of
Yes.
another 17 that I
17. It's
used to know
starting.
or play with. Yeah.
He's not as like it's a little different movement, but it's there. But their
But
second
he's
wide
a
receiver is Lazard.
yeah.
We've seen that is like, and
Well,
Cobb and McCole Hardman. Like it's Green Bay East, but it's
yeah.
not that great right there. And then the offensive line's shaky. So if they can't run the ball, I
Yeah.
don't know. That's kind
And
of scary.
Dalvin is injury prone. You know, we watched him for years when he was with the Vikings,
Yep.
and he has shoulder issues, and that's not a good thing when you like
Land on your
fall
shoulder
when you
every
land and
play.
you're always like, yeah, every time, right?
But I
So
think
it's like that's not very good.
if you split with him and Brees, if Brees can come back and then you kind of
Yeah,
like even that out, I think that's tough.
it
The
is.
Dolphins, I think the everyone knows they're good. Jalen getting hurt, Ramsey sucks, but he'll come
Hmm.
back. Vic Fangio's good for D corner. There's one thing to talk about with that team. Can Tua stay healthy? That's
And
all that matters.
yeah,
Can he not? And I don't want him to fall on the ground and hit his head. Like I want to see competitive football, but I can he stay healthy? Do you believe that? That's the question for that.
right. I know you don't pay attention to this shit, but he he's wearing a new helmet. He's wearing a different kind of helmet. I couldn't tell you what
Right.
it is, but I know it's a different one. So
I know he's like
they're trying.
jujitsu training to like so he
Yeah,
falls differently, but
yeah. But
yeah, that's
he just looks soft,
he put
doesn't
on
he?
muscle. He put on muscle because there's a
Mm,
whole Ryan Clark thing where he said hit the gym and he's like, yeah, I have keep my name out of your mouth, but
right. But where's the muscle? Because his
he's
arms,
he's just
he
not a
just has no
big
definition. He's
person.
just
He's not a
like
big person.
he's soft. I mean, not that
Okay,
I'm
but
soft,
to
but
push
I'm not a
back,
pro quarterback.
name a quarterback who has definition that's really good.
Yeah, I mean,
The most
that's true.
defined quarterback I can think of is Cam Newton, and he was a stud for like
He was an
his
MVP.
MVP season. But
Yeah.
like far Aaron's, you got to be elastic though, right?
Right.
Mahomes is a toad up top, like he is
Yeah.
thick in the middle, but he can wing it. Allen,
Yeah.
we've seen Eli Manning what he looks like with his
Oh
shirt off.
God.
Like there,
That's a good
all it goes
point.
back in the day.
That's a good point.
So
I guess I shouldn't be so critical.
yeah,
Um,
you're soft too. So what's the
I know
difference?
I said that. I admit it. I was the first one to admit it.
We're all soft.
But he also got a full tribal sleeve. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. He's on a different
Yeah.
level now.
He's trying to look harder, I guess. So
I think he's trying to get rid of that reputation.
yeah.
So that finishes the East. Now the best division in the AFC. I'm kidding. The AFC South sucks. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this division.
Jaguars.
I have the Jags winning. The Texans are in a total rebuild year with Stroud and Will Anderson and new coach. The Colts, Anthony Richardson is really fun to watch. Watch him in preseason. The guy is super athletic. Like
Yeah.
it's a defensive end size, but he runs like a running back and then he throws like a Mahomes
Hmm.
quarterback.
And
Like
he has all these like very non-conventional,
yeah,
not set, just
he's
flinging it.
cool.
And it's like,
I would
holy shit, this guy can
I could
chuck
be a
it.
fan of that. He's barely played.
Yeah.
I saw something where
He'll have
he
to,
threw less passes in his whole career since Brady's thrown last year. Like
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
raw, so that's new. They don't have Taylor at the moment.
Hmm.
Fantasy option though for Anthony Richardson. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. He should be a lot of fun to watch. Um,
Yes.
I he's just a freak athlete. And do you see his little brother when he got drafted?
Yeah.
This 12-year-old guy with a voice that's deeper than ours and a neck tattoo. And
Yeah.
like this guy just the whole family's just a bunch of athletes, I'm sure. They're just
Yes.
that kid's gonna grow up and be a star too, I bet.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't he needs to just not do what Andrew Luck did and like protect your body because your team's gonna suck. So like
Yeah, I think
slide in these
being
first couple of
athletic will
years.
help him, but he's got to learn
Don't
to
lower your
use it.
shoulder.
Yeah,
You're
like
not gonna
don't
you're not
take
making the
more.
playoffs this year. Yes.
Right.
Lower your shoulder.
You got to learn to
Don't lower
slide
your
like
shoulder.
Joe Burrow. I got to
Yes.
learn to slide.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think
So
it's pretty cut and clear. It's
it's
the
Jags.
Jags.
The only I mean the Titans, Mike
Yeah,
Vrabel is Mike Vrabel. I don't count that team out, but I don't trust their I don't believe in them. I don't believe in the
is
Hopkins,
is
Tannehill.
Tannehill starting? Yeah, I mean he's washed and he was never
Yeah.
very good to begin with.
He
So,
was I mean they made it to a championship game with him. So I get
but
like
I would argue
but
that that was more of the his surrounding cast.
yeah, it is with AJ Brown and all them, but it's Vrabel. He's tough. He's like
Yeah,
Belichick, but I would stick with the Jags. And I
yeah,
think Trevor Lawrence is gonna have a big jump this year. Like a
yeah.
big jump.
Everyone is. I mean, he was playing a lot better last year, but every single um channel, all the different analysts are like, I think it's just everyone just has committed to saying, yep, he's going to be really freaking
Yes.
good this year.
I mean
So
he's yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I, I'll believe it when I see it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do the seedings here. This is my seedings for the AFC playoffs. Number 1 seed, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right.
He's never played a road playoff game, and he won't play one this year.
Yeah, this fucking bastard.
Yep. He gets lucky. He doesn't have the 1 seed every year, but he's never played a road playoff game. Figure it out. It's stupid. Not saying that he can't win on the road because he's undefeated in the division on the road, but it's
Way
yeah.
to make it. Yeah, I mean, he's just had a pretty. It
It's
hasn't
the
been that tough.
it's the Arrowhead Invitational.
Yeah.
Number 2 seed, I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. I can live
Tough
with that.
division, but I trust Joe Burrow to come back in that team. The 3 seed, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking advantage of a shit division.
Okay.
My 4 seed is the Buffalo Bills then. Struggling, taking a little step back, not too much, in a tough division. So I how I envision it is like Chiefs, Bengals in that 13, 12 wins ish. And then Jaguars more in that 12, 11, 10-ish. And then the Bills in that like 10, 11-ish wins range.
Okay.
So the wild cards was like the hardest thing for me to do because they're all good. And like I said, I'm going to give special consideration to like Broncos, Patriots. I don't think they're there yet. I don't think so. It really came down to me between the Steelers, the Jets, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. So we only get 3 teams.
I know that sucks. It's so
It
hard.
sucks. And the NFL gets like around 4 new playoff teams every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to keep that in mind.
Someone's
Kind
got
of.
to not make
Someone's
it
got
that
to
made
not
it
make
last
it.
year.
Someone takes a step back. And I have the same division winners as last year. So it's a little different seeding, but I have the Ravens as my 5 seed.
Okay.
My reasoning, obviously, this is all on Lamar staying healthy. They made the playoffs last year with him hurt. They were a fumble at the goal line in Cincinnati in the wild card round that got returned for a touchdown to almost beating Cincinnati.
Yeah,
They're a
that's
good
true.
team. I don't know how Todd Monken and the pass offense is going to go, but I'm thinking if he can throw the ball, which I think he can, and save, like not get hit as much, I think they're going to be tough. Harbaugh's a great coach.
He is. Yeah,
So
I'm totally fine with Baltimore at 5.
I'm
I think
going
it makes
Baltimore.
sense, especially with
My
Cincy.
my 6 is the Jets, Jets. I have A-Rod in, and I strictly think they just need to go like 3-3, even 2-4 in the first 6. They play like the hardest 6-7 week stretch in the league,
It's
and then they
tough.
get some cakewalks.
Mm-hmm.
But Garrett Wilson and Aaron is a connection. I think they can run the ball, and their defense is going to swallow teams,
Yeah,
like just swallow them. Quinn
yeah.
Williams is an animal.
I
That's
think
my 6
they're
seed.
making the playoffs.
And I think that's a
I
win. I'm not a Super Bowl or bust guy here. I think they have the longest drought in major sports right now.
of getting like to the postseason.
Just getting to the bowl season out of
Oh yeah.
basketball, football, and MLB.
Wow. Yeah. Then I guess, and a lot of people would be like, we just have to make it there. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna say, "Well, you're in it, so now you have a chance," and you do. But
Hmm. Oh yeah.
I, yeah. And then my seventh team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a
Hell yeah.
wild pick. It's kind of crazy. I'll say why I'm going against the other two first. I don't trust Tua, his
Yeah.
health.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm sorry until he stays healthy for a whole season. Tyreek Hill's a beast, and Waddle, and they got the guys. And if he stays healthy, I think they're in the playoffs. But I'm betting against him staying healthy.
Yeah.
The
I
other team, and this was the hardest, the Chargers. I had to take them out. And here my only reasoning is kind of crap. It's kind of bad. I don't trust the coach. You blew a 31-point lead or 27 or whatever. I
yeah.
don't trust the coach. I like Kellen Moore, and I think Herbert takes a step this year,
Hmm.
but I don't trust the coach. And the Chargers just charger. Like Bosa gets hurt.
Yeah.
Derwin gets hurt.
They're
Allen gets
better. They're
hurt.
better than the Rams, but the Rams are still LA's team. That's
Yeah, and
just
it's
who the
it's
Chargers are.
I want them to be. I think if Sean Payton was there this year, I think they'd be in the playoffs. I really do.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
just have an
Coaching is huge.
issue. So I went
Coaching's
with the
huge.
Steelers because I think I like Tomlin, and I think they have the weapons and TJ
Yeah.
Watt's health, which is a big deal, but I think they have the weapons to get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Tough division though.
Yeah. I mean that's a good lineup.
Yeah, what do you think?
I I didn't like prepare mine as much, but I can kind of wing it and go similar to yours. I would have the Bengals 1, Kansas City 2, and then you had the Bills 3,
Jags, then Bills.
Jags 3, then the Bills. I agree. I think the Jags will be 3, but I think the Jets will be 4.
You think the Jets
I'm
win the
taking the
division this year?
Jets winning the division.
Oh wow, Dad will be happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. I know I have like I don't know if it's recency bias or I just have the blinders on because I'm watching
It's tunnel
Hard
vision.
Knocks and it's yeah, tunnel that's what I'm looking for. Tunnel vision.
Recency would be the other way because he didn't play well last year, and you would think he'd be bad.
Yeah. So I think it's just well, I've recently seen all the
All the good
clips.
stuff. I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm just going with them. I love Aaron. So I think well, I'll go with them. And then let's see. I've got
Three
the
wild
Ravens at
cards.
5. I
Okay.
agree with you there. Ravens at 5. Um, and then it's yeah, I mean the Bills. I have the Bills getting in, so maybe the Bills would
Got
be
two.
at.
6.
Could the Bills be at 5 still?
They could be at 5 or the Ravens. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
so one of those two at 5, and then 6. I'd probably have.
That it would either be the Ravens or the Bills. So you
Or
just
so,
need
yeah.
7.
So then the last one, I think I'd agree with the Steelers. Yep.
Okay.
I don't like Tua and the Dolphins, so I just shuffle mine around, but basically the
Okay.
same ones as yours. All right. So we're gonna finish out the playoffs of the AFC.
AFC prediction. So we went through the seeding, and now just a quick what's going to happen. I think in the end we're going to end up. Obviously, the seeding could be different, so the matchups could be different. Yada yada yada. In the end, I think it's going to be Kansas City and Cincinnati again.
In the AFC
Shocker in the
Championship
AFC Championship game.
at Burrowhead Stadium.
I have it at Kansas City, yes, Burrowhead, and I have the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, me too.
Why? Kansas City has done nothing to me to prove that they can handle that team. They beat them last year, yes. It was close. And I think the Chiefs took a little dip this year with their Chris Jones situation, losing wide receivers and trusting that these rookies are there, going to help. Losing a left tackle
Yeah.
to the team that they're going to be playing. And I think you protect Burrow, you're fine.
Yeah.
So
I still think that's the only thing that I'm worried about with Cincy's their offensive line. Um, I still think he'll get sacked a lot, but
yeah,
I think they're just that good. So
yeah.
I got those two in the championship game, and then I have Cincy getting to the
It wouldn't surprise me if
Super
Kansas
Bowl.
City made it, but I think the Chiefs are going to lose this
You gotta
time.
speak it into existence. They're
Yeah, I
not
think they're
gonna
going to
make it.
lose this time. So now we finished AFC. Let's hop right into the NFC.
All
Yeah.
right, sweet. I'm ready.
So
What
my
division you want to
NFC
start with?
NFC West, Niners, Seattle, Rams, Cardinals. We're not talking about the Cardinals. It's the worst team in the league.
Can we just at least will they win a game?
Yeah. One.
Okay, one.
They're
Yeah,
in they're in the Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes.
yeah,
Um the Rams are going to suck too, so I'm not going to talk about them either. I think Seattle's a wild card division potential team. I have the Niners winning. Obviously, it's a lot has to do with their quarterback health, but that roster's too good. And I think Bosa will get signed soon. If he doesn't get signed by the time this is out, he will be signed.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah. I
going with
think
them.
they're just too good. I still don't have faith in Brock Purdy, but Shanahan is that good. The supporting cast is that good. Um,
I actually have them as my number one seed as well. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I
So
agree.
then
I agree with them winning it, winning the
next
division.
division, NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, and the
Soon to be
G-Men.
something else, probably.
Yep. Um, Commanders, I think, are improving, but I don't think they're there yet. They got
Yeah,
a
I
good
still
offense
think
and a tough defense. I just don't know about Sam Howell as quarterback.
I don't even know who that is. So yeah,
Exactly. And then he's got potential, but with Bieniemy too, it could really help. We'll see, I guess. The Giants, I think, no shot. I'm sorry. I don't believe in that team. I just don't. I think last year was a fluke. So then it's really the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think both could win the division. I have the Eagles again because I don't trust Mike McCarthy calling plays. Sorry, not sorry, Packer fans. Lord help us. We saw
yeah.
that.
Shout
He
out to
stinks.
a doctor I worked with at the VA, Andrew Cable. He hates Mike
Yeah,
McCarthy,
it's
and
the
he will root
worst.
against him all the time. And yeah,
I like him as a
I
guy, but
he's
he's not
fine, but
that
the
it.
coach, no, he sucks.
No.
He's
And they lost
somehow
Kellen Moore. And
gets
then
fatter every
Dak,
year.
yeah, like we talked about in the beginning of the episode, Dak, I don't trust him at all. They
No,
improved with Gilmore. They got Brandon Cooks, and I just don't trust him. I
no,
trust
it's
the stacked roster in Philadelphia.
yeah.
Like,
I think they could have the same record. They could both be 12-5, but
yes,
I think Philly gets the one seed or wins the division.
yeah, I have Philly as my 2 seed.
Yeah.
NFC South. This is the crappiest of the crap. This is the Saints. This is the
Panthers,
Falcons, the
Falcons,
Panthers,
Bucks.
Bucks. I don't think the Bucks are going anywhere. Sorry. Shout out to Charlie Rodriguez. Baker Mayfield stinks. Okay, it's not
Chuck.
happening.
Guess what, Chuck?
Chuckster. Yeah. He'll
He
probably get
sucks.
benched in week 4 to what's his face? I don't even remember his name, the backup quarterback. And then Panthers too early for Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I'm not who must not be named. He who must not be named thinks they're gonna make the playoffs this year because he's a moron. His show's on FS1. He's a loser. The then it comes down between the Falcons and the Saints. I think the Falcons have a ton of potential. They were like 8-9 last year. I do
Somehow.
not
Yeah.
trust Desmond Ritter though, or the coach, like at all. Zero. So I
Yeah.
went with the best quarterback in the division, which is Derek Carr somehow.
Yeah. I got the Saints winning, but it's gonna be like 9-8 or something.
Again, okay, so I probably should have said that. Like you said, the Eagles, Niners, 12, 11, 13 wins. This division, 8-9, I think could win.
Yeah.
7-10. Like it's
Right.
gonna be that bad. And
Wasn't
then
Brady in his last year? Wasn't he like
yeah,
barely
last
getting
year.
in?
Yes,
Was
they
it
were like
last
eight
year
and
already?
nine.
Oh,
Yeah. They got rocked by the
he's been
Cowboys.
retired longer.
But and then I know Kamara's out, but they got Olave. They have weapons. Juwan Johnson at tight end. I think their Cam Jordan's good in defense, and
I saw
I just
someone online picking them to go to the NFC Championship. So I don't know who they're looking at. I don't remember who it was.
that's
Um,
wild to me.
but I don't. Maybe they see something different. But
They
I
I
could see
think
them winning their division, and that's about it.
they were fringe last year to make the playoffs with Jameis and that whole catastrophe of quarterback play last year.
Right.
So
If he only threw 28 interceptions, maybe they would have.
yeah, and he gets hurt, and
Yeah.
so I that division's kind of a. And then we get to the NFC North, the hometown division.
All right.
The Bears are gonna bear and they're gonna suck. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh
And it's not
man.
because I'm a hater. I don't hate a team that always stinks. I feel bad for them at this point. I think they'll be better, but not division winners
Not when you have a
or
running
wild
back as
card.
your quarterback.
Yeah, he's good, but not well. Everyone thinks Jalen Hurts move now. He doesn't have the
Mm-mm.
people around him. They got DJ Moore, but he's not the same. I don't think Jalen Hurts is as good as people think either. But that's a different topic for a different day. I think the Lions are overhyped. I really do.
Yeah, they're
Goff
almost.
daddy. I don't
Yeah.
trust Goff daddy.
No.
He can't throw outdoors. He beat the Packers outdoors, and that's not saying much because we sucked last
Yeah, it was
year.
like 13-9 or whatever.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
It
it was
wasn't that
horrible.
impressive.
And
Yeah.
then I know their offense is like on all cylinders, but they lost Swift. They don't have Hawkinson anymore. Jameson Williams gambles too much, so he's suspended or PEDs or I don't
Yeah.
know. They got too many
No,
people
he was
suspended.
gambling or something. Six
And
games, I
then
think.
yeah, so he's out. I know they Jameer Gibbs, fantasy guy. I'm gonna plug that one too. I think he'll be a good pick. They got David Montgomery from the Bears, so just they're trash. They just picked it up and put it in their backfield. They
Yeah.
got tough O line. Their defense sucks. So like I just
Yeah.
Amon
But
Ross St. Brown, stud. I'll say
the
that
they're
too.
gonna
But
win this division just because of the lack of competition in it.
so I do not have them winning the division.
You have the Vikings.
Let's go to the Vikings.
Like
The
it better not be
Vikings,
the Packers.
the Vikings are going to take a step back. They're not winning 11 one-score games. Let's just put that out there.
Right. The only
That's
reason,
just not going to happen.
yeah, I was so pissed at that last year. Oh my God. Everyone's
It
like,
didn't
oh, they're
bother
good.
me
They find a way to win. I'm like, fuck
when
that.
you
They
lose to the
suck.
Giants at home. It just shows what you really are. Daniel Jones just dotted that team up, and
Yeah.
Kirk 4th and 8 throws for 3 yards. It's like that's what
Yeah.
we need. Yeah,
That's the
like
Kurt we know and love.
Kurt Kurt. Look it up, Washington. It's an interview. So I don't trust that. Their defense stinks.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Addison, another fantasy guy, I think he'll be good. The rookie wideout from USC, but
Yeah.
Madison,
I
Alexander
think I
Madison,
think
Madison.
JJ could flirt with 2,000 receiving
JJ's a
yards.
stud. They have Hawkinson. I think they'll score,
Yeah.
but and they can be a wild card looking team, division looking team. But my division winner is the Green Bay Packers.
Shut up. Shut up. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Here's
Why?
why. Call me Homer all you want. I don't think the Bears are good. I don't trust the Vikings. And when I say division winner, I think we could be 8-9 and win the division. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
We play a soft schedule with the NFC South. So we play
Mhm.
the Saints, who we just talked about stinks, and the Panthers, and the Falcons, and like we play an easy stretch there. We also were third in division. We have a third place schedule.
Mhm.
Do I think Love's going to be outstanding? No. Do I think he's going to be bad though? No. I'm expecting
Like around
solid,
500.
yeah,
Yeah.
solid play, ups and downs, and we just squeak in next to the Lions. So I have us there. I actually have us as the 3 seed, the Saints as the 4 because we
Oh,
play
I
the
guess.
Saints.
Yeah,
So I
that makes
just
sense.
strictly went off of I think we'll beat the Saints head to head, like
Yeah.
8-9, 8-9, and then the Eagles are up there at 13-4. So like I don't think it's going to be impressive. I think we're going to fall
Lose
ass
in the first
backwards into the
round.
playoffs. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
So that's why
I mean, that's great. I
it's a
love
shame.
it. I hope that happens, but I don't think it will. I completely disagree.
Who you going with?
I'm going Lions, and then I think the Vikings, and then us. I agree that the Bears suck, and they always will.
Yeah.
Um, sorry,
I'm
Al
also rooting for the Lions
Marquezes.
because I want them to be successful because they've sucked forever too.
Yeah, and
I have no issue with that team.
right,
I
because
like Dan Campbell and
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, when a team sucks that long, even in your own division, it's like it's not really a rivalry. We don't really
No,
care.
we don't have a rival in the division. The
Yeah.
then we get into wild card. I think we're pretty even. Like Cowboys got to be in there to me. We both think the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to be there. So they were my 5 seed. So they
Mm-hmm.
would play the Saints. I have them beating the Saints, obviously. I also had Seattle as my 6 seed. I think that one they were in last year. I think they had a hell of a draft. I don't think Gino will be better, but I don't expect him to be much worse if he's worse. They
Yeah.
drafted Jackson Smith and Jigba. Ken Walker's a stud. Pete Carroll just knows how to coach. I don't he chomps on that gum with those grandpa Nikes and just rocks the world. I don't know.
You can throw some
It's
darts too, man.
yeah, he was out here just dusting people. It was
If Gino
nuts.
goes down,
Yeah.
he'll
Carroll with the gloves. He doesn't need pads either.
he'll
It
be
was
like
impressive.
he'll be like the coach in Adam Sandler's The Longest Yard
Yeah, he's like, put
when
me in.
he has
What are you
like
wearing
pads and
pads
stuff.
for? He's
You
like,
never
I
know,
want to
baby.
play. So I
Yeah.
have them as 6 seed. They play us. I have them beating us. So
Yeah.
and then the 7th, I had the Lions because I think they're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. So I don't have the Vikings in. To fast forward, I think there's 3 good teams in the NFC: the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. I have the Niners and Eagles in the championship game. So I literally have the same exact championship game as last year for
Yeah.
both conferences. It's pretty chalk. Kind of sucks, but it's the best rosters and the best quarterback. And
Yeah. Makes
I
sense.
don't really know what to say. I have the Eagles going to the Super Bowl again, though.
That's
I
hard to
know they
do.
lost. I know they lost their quarterback, their coordinators, so their quarterback might take a step back, but they're so loaded with Georgia players and DeAndre Swift on the team, AJ Brown. They have like a cakewalk of a schedule for like the first 6 to 8 weeks, I think. So they could be like 8-0 and lose 3 out of their last whatever and still be 13 and 14 and 3. So
Yeah.
it's hard for me not to see them. And I don't trust the Niners quarterback and
Yeah, me either.
injuries. Everyone gets hurt. I don't trust
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, and the Eagles can punch you in the mouth just as bad as the Niners.
Yeah. I have I honestly don't like the NFC. It's so hard. There's so many like teams that we expect to be good, but probably won't, or teams that we don't
A lot
expect
of
to be good that,
average.
yeah, it's like, I don't know. And then even the good ones, there's a lot of questions, like the Niners. I don't like Brock Purdy.
Dallas.
That's tough. Dallas, I don't trust Dak. I don't trust
Yeah.
McCarthy. I don't like that team.
The Eagles have
The
to have a
Eagles, it's
regression.
gotta
They have
be
to. They were too
right.
good, right?
It's hard to get to 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not even gonna tell you who I couldn't even tell you who my um seedings are. So I'm just gonna skip all that, and I'm just gonna say I got the Eagles and the Niners in the championship game.
It's the 2 best teams. You
Um,
don't even really need to think about
at
it.
first I had the Niners getting there, but something I don't know. I feel like I might change it to the Eagles. I
Did
think
I
I have to
talk you
change it
into
to
it?
the Eagles. Yeah. I just don't
Yeah.
like Brock Purdy. I can't see a he's just eh. I mean, he
Yeah.
plays fine. I have nothing against him. I'm just like,
I think he was
I just
overblown last year.
right. And he was the last pick in the draft,
Mr. Irrelevant.
right? I mean, Brady was way, way late in the draft, and it's like you aren't gonna see that
6th round, yeah.
ever again, right? And like for him to get to a Super Bowl would just be fucking bizarre to me. So I
It's
just
like
don't
Jimmy
see it.
G getting there, and then it's
And then he
he's not
doesn't,
as good as Jimmy G. Yeah,
right?
it
So it's
doesn't
like
hit
I just
Emmanuel
don't see it.
Sanders.
Maybe they could get there, but there's no way they win if they get there. Or do you want to give your Super Bowl prediction and your
Yep.
league
Let's
MVP and all that?
first. Who do you have for MVP of the regular
So
season?
It's between Herbert and Joe Burrow.
You didn't
Um,
have Herbert making the playoffs though, so you
no,
think
I
you're
didn't.
going. So you got to go Joe then.
Do you? Does it include the playoffs?
No, but if your
The
team doesn't
the
make the
NBA doesn't.
playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, you're not gonna. The NFL is like the number one, two seed gets the
Yeah.
MVP.
And so it's gonna spoil my Super Bowl pick, but I didn't want to pick Joe
Just
because
say it all. Go ahead.
I didn't want to pick Joe because I didn't want to repeat literally what happened last year where Mahomes won regular season MVP, Mahomes won the Super Bowl, and then he won the Super Bowl MVP. But I think Burrow might just do that.
You
So
think
I'm gonna say Burrow wins MVP. Burrow wins the Super Bowl. He beats the Eagles, and he will probably get Super Bowl MVP.
okay.
That's what I'm going with. And I
I
wouldn't mind
have
that. I like Joey B. I like the Bengals. They got the
yeah,
probably the best uniforms in the league, and we can talk about that
the
at some
all
point.
whites. Yeah. The It's really weird because we didn't talk about this beforehand. This wasn't planned, but I have the Eagles and the Bengals, and I have the better quarterback winning the game, and I have Joe Burrow as the MVP
Really? You picked
of
the
the
same
Super
one?
Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah, it might be just me hating on the Chiefs and not getting the Chiefs there.
Right.
I
I mean,
do
I'm
have
probably tuning into
Patrick Mahomes winning the regular
MVP.
season MVP again, though, back to
Yeah.
back. Number one
I
seed, just balls out.
yeah, I
He's
mean,
tough not to pick against.
right. And he's always gonna be, you know,
My
he's
second,
just good. So
yeah, my
I
second
yeah.
was Jalen Hurts. I was gonna go him as MVP. I was gonna go Burrow, but I don't know how many games he's gonna miss. I don't know how that would affect it. And then if Mahomes is the higher seed, because you had Cincinnati as the one seed, correct?
Yeah.
If Mahomes was the higher seed in my scenario, I thought, well, they're
It
just
makes more
gonna,
sense. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what
I
I
don't know
had for
if they get
predictions.
like NBA, they get voter fatigue. So like I would argue Giannis should have got a couple MVPs when he didn't. Um
They definitely do.
like maybe when Jokic won his first, I would have argued that Giannis should have got that one, but whatever. I don't
They
know if
get
the
fatigue.
NFL
Yes, they
does.
do.
So I that's why I'm like it's hard for me to pick Mahomes. He's already got two or three, right?
He's got two,
Two
but
MVPs.
I would say they do, but I think after two, maybe just because Aaron got two in a row, and I didn't think he'd get two because of fatigue,
Right.
like and
But I
the whole
think two in
COVID
a
thing.
row, that's not fatigue. I think three
Yeah,
in a row, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's
that's
enough.
why I think he could get it.
Yeah. So I
So
got
that's our predictions. We're
so we
big
got
Bengals fans this
the
year.
same yeah, I guess. We got the
It's a
same
repeat of last year after everything, and then new
right.
team winning.
And when you think about it, that's what makes sense. And that's what it I mean, that's those should be the favorites to get back. That's why the last championship winner is always the or usually the, you know, got the best odds to win it again. So I'm pretty sure that's where it is when you look at most things. Like Kansas City's got the highest odds or the best odds to make it to the Super or win the Super Bowl. So
They do. And
yeah,
speaking of odds, I'm going to give a quick betting parlay of the year.
all right.
Now that
What
we're
is
done
it?
with our divisions, if you pick the on DraftKings, even though we are not allowed to bet in Wisconsin, if you pick in an eligible state, Buffalo Bills plus 120, Bengals plus 140, Chiefs minus 165, and Niners minus 190, all to win their division, it adds up to a 1194 plus parlay. If you bet $100, you get $1,294. $1,300 parlay.
Nice.
Parlay. Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
like
good.
that one. I mean, I can't see the Chiefs losing or the Niners, so it's really up to the Bengals and Bills, but that's what I'm going to give out. We'll see if anyone wins off of
Are you
it.
gonna do it?
I'm not allowed to bet in the state of Wisconsin, so I will have to say no. Um, but that is it for our predictions.
Yeah, we have
Mm,
such, you know, we have a lot of higher ups that are gonna be watching this and they're gonna be making sure that you're
The
following
government.
state
The
laws. Yeah.
government.
The government?
Oh, good stanza. So, all right, you want to wrap up then?
Yeah, let's wrap this baby up. So this is just a starter episode. Gave our predictions for the year. We're going to be trying to come out with one every week and talk about, like predictions for the next week, talk about what happened the week after, that type of stuff. It's a little tricky with Thursday night games, so we'll have to do a quick turnaround with recording and then editing and then releasing. But we'll do our best to get them out by Thursday, I'm thinking, right?
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
what we'll shoot for.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at the games to come. We'll talk about our picks for the week. We can talk about bets and stuff like that.
Yeah, games
Just
games to watch, focus
yeah,
on, things
good
to look at.
matchups. Yeah, stuff
Yeah,
like that. Throw some fantasy in there because we're both fantasy players. Just a lot of fun stuff like that.
any
Um,
parlays.
right. And then so I'm really into uniforms. I know not a lot of people really care, but I know a lot of people can appreciate some cool uniforms. Um, so we have an Instagram account called the Wisco Wistys. So follow us on that. I also have one, the Uniform Buff, BUFF, and I basically am in the middle of like redesigning every single NFL team's uniforms the way I think they should look. Um, I'm not really taking too big of risks with them. I'm just kind of using what they currently have and kind of fixing them basically. But then eventually I might, you know, step out into a little more bold looking uniforms and stuff like that. So each week we can kind of go through one or whatever. And maybe it's not every week, maybe it's a couple times a month, who knows. But we'll dive into some uniform stuff and spread the word of what they should really start to look like. So
Yes.
yeah, that's about it, I
Follow
think.
us. Follow on the Wisco Wistys. Those are all social media platforms, correct?
Yep.
The Wisco Wistys.
Yes.
Twitter.
Wisco and then Wistys.
X now, not Twitter. Sorry, Elon.
Oh,
X, Instagram,
yeah, Instagram.
YouTube.
So YouTube is where we're going to be, releasing all these. So if you're watching, you obviously know
We are on
where to
the
find it.
talk
But
too. TikTok.
okay,
We're
I'm
on the
28,
TikTok.
so I don't really do that stuff. But
I don't either. That's what my girlfriend's for.
and Paige is probably listening in the background. So
Yep, she's here. She's probably mad at me, but that's fine.
shout out to Paige. We're keeping her up. It was a blast, Cole.
All
Thanks for
right.
hanging in there.
Good week.
We will get this thing ready to roll, and I'm excited to see where this takes us. So,
All right.
to all 4 of our followers, peace out.
Yeah. Peace out. See ya.
All right, cool.